Hello, Rachel from Let's Be Authentic here, talking today about power dynamics. Power dynamics are a part of our daily life with most relationships, if not all, that we have. And they're really impactful. They can be really impactful. And I think one of the more dangerous aspects of them is when we're not aware that they exist between people. And, one common power dynamic, for instance, might be a boss and an employee, and the fact that the interactions that happen between these two people could result in the employee losing their job. That's like a very kind of basic type of power dynamic, but I think there's more subtle ones that we forget sometimes. Like even amongst friends, there might be a way that one person is kind of putting the other on a pedestal in subtle ways. And how is that impacting the way that we interact with each other? And I think another thing that can be often missed with power dynamics is it's not just about the person that has the additional power, recognizing their power and what that, the responsibility that means, but it's also the other person and what they're, how they're interacting with the power dynamic that can be impactful as well. So if, for instance, somebody who is, in a dynamic and not recognizing it, is it unconsciously affecting the way that they're responding or interacting to things this person is saying? Whether or not the power dynamic is actually literal, such as a job situation or landlord-tenant situation, or is it something that's more emotional, subtle, whether it's real or imagined, it can still impact the way that we interact with each other and therefore our connections and our relationships. So my invitation with this message is to notice how power dynamics show up in your life. If you kind of notice as you interact with people that are in your world, like, is there a power dynamic here? If so, what is it? How am I interacting with it? And how is the power dynamic impacting our relationship and our connection? And is it worth being explicit about naming it or making requests to be with it in a more conscientious way? So, just some things to think about. Take what you will and leave the rest. Thanks for watching.